Reliance on foreign equipment means British military will be depleted after Brexit. Britain's military will be depleted after Brexit thanks to a reliance on foreign equipment and a lower GDP, a leading defence expert has told Express.co.uk. The amount of money available for defence will be lower after leaving the European Union, EU, because it is pegged by percentage to GDP, Trevor Taylor, Professorial Research Fellow in Defence Management at the highly respected Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, think tank, said there will also be less equipment because of the weak pound and the fact much of Britain's defence equipment is bought from overseas. He said the British government committed in 2015 before the Brexit vote to spend the NATO recommended 2% of GDP on defence. However, predictions GDP will decrease in the years after the UK leaves in March 2019 means there will be hundreds of billions of pounds less to spend on defence. Mr. Taylor said, "There are differences in opinion, but the majority of people think GDP will go down and it won't do as well as it would have done if we stayed in the EU. The amount of money available for defence is going to be less as a result of Brexit. Given the other pressures on the budget in terms of health and other spending, especially with a struggling economy, then I think it's quite unlikely the government will go above 2% of GDP unless there is some drastic deterioration in world security. It's a cumulative effect, so if we assume 1% growth rate instead of 2%. If you said well 5-6 years after Brexit it will be 1%, it adds up. By the time you get to year 5 you get a defence budget which is significantly less. You're talking billions less than it would have been if we'd have 2%. It's not the first year that hits you, but the second, third, fourth, fifth. The impact is bad for defence because it means less money." Mr. Taylor said the amount of military equipment Britain was planning to buy from overseas is slightly contested. However, due to the pound's value falling since the Ministry of Defence, MOD, made its last plans in 2015, UK purchasing power has plunged by between £400 million and £700 million, which over a decade is a lot of money. The real problem comes with the support costs after buying equipment from overseas, as there needs to be a continuous flow of spare parts, which means significantly more is spent on owning equipment than buying it in the first place. Mr. Taylor added, "That is really hurting, and will continue to hurt the MOD, because there's no real prospect the pound will go to the 1.53 level it was at in November 2015. It's obviously going to be around 1.31, 1.30. It even went down to 1.20 at one point. That's a big loss in purchasing power. The defence budget may be the same, but the purchasing power has gone down quite a lot. You're going to struggle to meet existing commitments to buy things, or you will not be buying things that you would have had money for because the money's gone on the things you've already committed to." He explained the government in 2015 made the decision to move away from home-built equipment as it said many foreign systems were better value. The defence expert added, "The government said in 2012 its default position would be to buy off the shelf from the world market, and they've done that with Rivet Joint, which is an electronic warfare aircraft and intelligence aircraft. They've done that with Predator and Reaper, we call it Protector. They've done that with the P-8 Chinooks. So we have quite a list of commitments there, which the bill is significant. They opted not to pursue a British or European collaborative programs in those cases." Mr. Taylor said the two issues of lower GDP and the reliance on foreign spending pose serious questions over whether the UK can maintain its role as a global power, just behind the United States. He said, "The real challenging questions is how the security scenes are changing and whether we'll have the money to adapt to that security scene, particularly with regard to new challenges arising from Russia." Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.